Mike, it's an honor to have you on, and I want to thank you for doing this interview with me.
Thank you
Mike,
very much for having me.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, yeah, my name is Michael Ball. I'm the owner of a Cruise Planners franchise. I'm from Montana originally. Joined the Marine Corps in 1989. Did 4 years in the Marine Corps and ended up getting out and traveling around for a little while. I was intel in the Marine Corps, and then came back in a guard unit in Hawaii. It was actually an Army Guard unit as a medic. Went to the 91 Bravo course there, and
Who?
who Delta Company, Delta 232, The Rock, there at Fort Sam Houston. But yeah, bounced around between a couple different Guard and Reserve units until 2000, when I ended up coming back on active duty in the Air Force. And I did my last 13, almost 14 years in the Air Force active duty. And about the last 10 of that was flying air medical evacuation. So yeah, we set up the staging facility on a flight line at Baghdad at the very beginning of the war in '03. We were flying patients in Kandahar in '04, and was back in Afghanistan with the provincial reconstruction team in '06 and '07. So it's probably spent a couple years, a little over 2 years between Iraq and Afghanistan total. And then was the NCOIC of the Air Medical Staging Facility in Ramstein, moving about 1,000 patients a month through there, coming out of 2 or 3 missions a day, coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan. And then my last year and a half was at Walter Reed Bethesda. There's about 60, 70 Air Force up there. So I was a flight chief for the nurses and medics there at Walter Reed Bethesda, and then retired in 2013. Was working for a few different nonprofits. I started out at AMVETS at their national headquarters, but I had a desire to continue to work with veterans after I got out. So most recently was the director of a nonprofit called Serving Together in the National Capital Region. But I had back surgery number 2 and 3 and number 4 coming up. So the commuting and the meetings and all that was really getting to me. I was looking around for something that I could do from home. I had my own business that I wouldn't have to commute as much. And travel is something that my wife and I have both been passionate about. So I ended up buying a home-based travel agency franchise called Cruise Planners. So,
wow. So tell us a little bit about that and,
sure.
and the services that you offer and all of that good stuff.
Sure. It's a travel agency. Travel industry is interesting because, back when, you remember in the 80s, and I remember traveling overseas in the 80s one time, and you couldn't do that yourself. You had to go to a travel agent to get those tickets booked. But, then in the 90s and in the early 2000s, everything was online. People could book their own trips. You could book your own flights and your own hotels. But now everything has swung so much in the other direction that there's just so much information out there that a lot of people, they spend hours and hours researching their vacations before they go, and they're still not even sure, is this site legitimate? Am I going to get my money back if I book with this hotel and have to cancel? So it can be complicated. And working with the travel agent, there's no fee. We're a commission-based business, and there's always a commission built in. If you go to Vyama or Kayak or Expedia, believe me, there's always some small commission built in. So, and if you call that 1-800 number on the cruise, Carnival Cruise Line's website, you're going to be speaking to an agent that's subcontracted to them anyway. But the value of having a personal travel advisor like me, I answer my phone at 10:30 at night. Costco's not going to do that. USAA is not going to do that. So basically what I want to do is build relationships with the customers, find out what you like, what your family likes, and be available to you. I answer my phone at 10:30 at night when somebody's texting me, "Hey, are there hair dryers in the bathroom on the Norwegian Spirit?" Well, yes, there are.
I guess you got that call, huh?
And I got that call. And, Cruise Planners, one thing about the name, people think cruises is all we do, but we have relationships with all of the major, river and ocean cruise lines, but we also have relationships with hundreds of hotel lines, resort chains, all-inclusives, travel providers. So, we specialize in all types of land and ocean and river travel. So whatever it is you want to go cage diving with sharks, we can make that happen. You want to go to Disney, we can make that happen. You want to do an African safari, we do all of that. So And like I said, there's no fee. There's no fee to work with us. And really what we want to do is get to know the customer, get to know the client, get to know what they like. You know, a lot of people find these great deals. You can go on cruise.com or vacations to go, and you say, oh man, there's this great deal on this cruise. Well, I can find that same, I can find that same, that same rate too, but let me tell you exactly what you get, or more specifically, what you don't get for that rate, and how, you know, how cruise line math works, you know. So just because you're getting this great deal doesn't necessarily mean that your family is going to enjoy that particular vacation. You know, you may be booking on a ship with a bunch of kids, and I'm here to tell you that particular cruise line is primarily 65 and up. Your kids aren't going to have a good time. So things like that, like we know a lot. We're always taking classes and touring ships and going to these places ourselves. So, you know, if I don't know, I work with a company that has years and years and years of experience. So there is somebody in our network that knows about that resort or that ship. And you know, basically want to be an advisor to you, provide this concierge level travel service for no fee. And I want my concern is that you have the best time possible. You and your family come back from that trip going, man, that was the best vacation ever. Everything was done for us, you know. So that's what we do. All types of land and cruise travel, provide a concierge level service to our clients, get to know the clients, really want to make sure that you have a vacation that you are going to enjoy. The best value, unless somebody's buying a house or a car, chances are the biggest expense that they will have that year is that family vacation.
Right.
So, you know, if it comes down to like, oh, I'm trying to save $20 here by going through some website that I think I can get a better deal on, you know, do you really want to nickel and dime that when that's your biggest expense for the year, when you can have an advisor for free that knows about that resort or that ship and can really, you know, make sure that, hey, your kids are going to have a great time on this ship, and I'll tell you why, or your kids and your family are going to love this resort, I'll tell you why. This one probably not, because this is a different type of crowd, or this is an older crowd, or this is, you know, we've had all kinds of stories too about people that found a great deal on a cruise and then we had a couple that found a great deal, got on a cruise, and that half the cruise ship was sold out for a Motley Crue fan tour. They said there were people fighting and throwing deck chairs off, and they had to arrest all these people and kick them off a boat in Cozumel, and it was just a terrible time. So wow. That's another thing that, you know, as travel advisors, you know, if you book a hotel or a cruise somewhere, I'm looking at that place, making sure there's nothing going on. I don't want to put you on a cruise ship where there's suddenly most of the ship is booked out for a big group that you're not part of. All of the venues are taken up by that space, and you're not, you know, it's almost like you're an afterthought. Cruise lines won't tell you that. USAA won't tell you that. Costco won't tell you that. But having your own personal travel advisor will let you know. I'm going to let you know if there's, hey, that hotel, great place, their pool's under construction for the next 6 months. You know, you want to know that before you go there.
Absolutely. So question for you along another lines is business advice. Can you share some business advice with my audience?
I can. And you know, times, I'm not gonna lie, times are tough. Times are tough all around. There's a lot of businesses that are really hurting right now. And the travel industry is kind of come to a standstill. One of the things that I have been doing, that I've been telling people, is look, even if I didn't book your trip for you, I will be happy if you have questions about how to cancel that trip, or what the airline's cancellation policies are, what the cruise line's cancellation policies are. I'm happy to help you. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I'm doing that is, one, I want to build relationships with people, and two, I want to position myself as the expert in this field. And I think those are, you know, that would be my advice to other small business owners and entrepreneurs in this time of crisis, is you have the opportunity. Yeah, business is slow, but while this business is slow, other people are hurting as well. And they, you know, offering up your expertise to those people will hopefully put you in a position where you are considered the expert in that field, and it will build that relationship and that trust with those potential clients. When we come out of this, and we will, we will come through this, and I think bars and restaurants will be full again, and people will be traveling again, and people will be investing again, and people will be out spending money and shopping. And what you want is when that happens, you want your name to be, when they're looking at whatever it is that you specialize in, or whatever it is that you're selling, whatever product you have, you want your name to be at the top of their mind. So take this opportunity. My advice would be to take this opportunity to build relationships and to build trust, and to position yourself as the expert, the one with the, that's so knowledgeable in this field, and stay visible. It can be frustrating, even for me. I'm trying to come up with content for our social media, and nobody's traveling, but you still got to keep your name out there. Keep your face and your business in front of people, so that when this is over, they remember you, and they like, oh, that person is the expert. They are the go-to person for that product or that service.
So speaking of keeping your name out here, how does my audience get in touch with you?
Multiple ways. Our website is travelproconsulting.com, all one word, www.travelproconsulting.com. We are also on Facebook, Travel Pro Consulting. I don't know if you have the capability, but I can certainly put all these links. We have a Facebook, and I'm still trying to work out how to use Instagram and Twitter, I'll be honest, but we do have, a presence on those, primarily our website and Facebook. And then, my number is 703-828-TOUR, like TOUR, 703-828-TOUR.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, 8687. And my email is mike.ball, mike.ball, @cruiseplanners.com. So, and I can send you all this information if you have a place to put it up on your site. But check us out on Facebook at Travel Pro Consulting, or travelproconsulting.com. And like I said, I'm happy to help any, these airlines, each airline has their own cancellation policies, each cruise. If you have vacations that you're having a hard time booking, right before we got online here, I finally somebody had a hotel that was they were past the point of it being refundable, and it's 72 hours from travel. Right before we got online here, I'm actually talking to the hotel and getting these people's money refunded for a hotel in Italy. So, that's, if that's the way that I can help, and that's the way I can build relationships and trust, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm happy to do it for people. So
I think that's the beauty of, working with us veterans, right? Is we have a passion for taking care of people. That's what we learned. I don't care if you served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, or that other Department of Transportation, the Coast Guard.
I got like 3 of them.
But that's what we do, is we have a passion for taking care of people. So thank you for your service, and then thank you for serving on the other side, because
thank you.
It's important that we take care of each other on this side of the fence, and that's what we do. So I appreciate your service, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, and call anytime.
Absolutely.